Set up anything.
Set it up. Knock it down.
Okay, which one you got to flip to see which one gets scratched this week? Okay, we're live now.
Yeah, I did
Okay, all righty.
I did say.
Okay,
No, just
good.
give it a couple of minutes, let everyone
Live
show
and
up,
in charge.
and then we'll get on with the show.
Yeah,
It's a
Richard
good
the
format.
man.
It works every week.
Well, it's something to rely upon.
With or without Phil.
With or without Phil.
It works just fine. With or without him.
Well, you covered your bases this week.
Yeah, I've got a paid Bigfoot expert, so don't get much better than that.
Not just a Bigfoot expert, but someone who's
Hey.
actually seen Bigfoot.
There you are.
You can't
I
get
think I
better
missed
than
the
that.
paid part, though.
No.
Well,
Yes,
no.
you can.
So last week's episode of the 40 Slip got me banned from the coalition again.
What?
Yeah.
What?
He doesn't normally listen, but Stephen listened and he heard that rant I went on about him and he wasn't happy.
There's a coalition.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been to that site in, I don't know, 3 years.
So wait. Steven listened to that episode.
That was the only episode he heard, right?
All right, I gotta save that for after the show. All right, continue.
That was it. He listened to that. I suddenly started getting tagged in like 7 comments, and I was like, uh-oh. It just kept saying Stephen Struford has mentioned you in his comments, and I was like, oh no, he listened to the show.
Uh-oh. Well, Steve is all in. He's an all-in kind of guy.
That's right. And the 40 and slip, destroying friendships since 2013. Yeah,
Rick, we all ready?
I'm ready.
Me too.
Sweet. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's edition of the Squatchable Podcast, where we take a look at the week in Bigfoot news. Joining me, as always, from the 40 and Slip, Chris York. Chris, how are you?
Absolutely wonderful.
He's great. And joining us, as always, Phil Pulling from Power Breakdown. Phil, how are you?
Good.
And from Bigfoot Crossroads, our special guest, joining us from another wood bugger adventure, we have Matt Knapp. Matt, how are you?
Fantastic.
We're all great. And if you enjoy Bigfoot Crossroads, Power Breakdown, or the 40 and Slip, you may enjoy the badly drawn misadventures of 2 Bigfoot. Head on over to Bigfooting with Keith and Colin on Facebook, where I'm delighted to announce that the PC Poltergeist will no doubt be triggered by something. Without further ado, I am your host, Richard Allen, and let's just get on with it. Our first story this week is not a conference. That in and of itself, yeah. Couldn't find a new conference.
It's a follow-up to an old conference?
Nope.
That's it. The bit's over.
The bit's over. It's died. We went 14 weeks, but I couldn't find a new one. So instead of that, we have an expedition announcement. Extreme Expeditions North.
Well, that's different.
I'll let you get that out of your system. Extreme Expeditions Northwest LLC is pleased to announce that on May 26th, 2019, we will be returning to the port Chatham, Alaska in pursuit of the legendary, elusive, and ill-tempered hairy man of Southwest Alaska, or Bigfoot as he's more commonly known. We hope that you will support this no-holds-barred epic event as we return to Port Chatham in his second attempt to secure the ultimate proof of the existence of the legendary Bigfoot. Believe me when I tell you this expedition will most certainly be the most significant and challenging Bigfoot expedition of the year. For detailed information on how you become a member of this expedition team or sponsor of this extraordinary event, please give us a call or visit us at www.xnorthwest.com. So that's May 26th, the Extreme Expedition in Alaska. Gentlemen, your thoughts?
In June, I will be making an extreme expedition to Ohio
Ooh.
to look for the elusive No, I almost said it. Steve Alcorn. I can guarantee you will actually see Steve Alcorn at the end of this expedition.
You should set up a Patreon or
I think we should do it.
GoFundMe.
So this expedition in Alaska.
I think we should definitely do it. There will be way more payoff to this than I get. I guarantee you, any other expedition you can go on, you will actually see Steve Alcorn at the end of this expedition.
Just look for the evidence along the trail. Empty spam cans.
That's right. Green things.
So the one in Alaska, that's a no holds barred expedition.
And they're not taking any chances. They're going
Yeah,
straight for the pit.
It's got to be said. May the 4th be with you guys.
No.
All right.
No.
Can I say go piss? Is that like good enough?
No, you can say that.
All right, good. Because
Don't
go
say it to me
piss,
though.
Because I don't get into this.
Yeah, that it is kind of old. But if it's not,
I don't like these Star Wars people trying to glom onto the Cinco de Mayo crowd.
Yeah. Well, that's tomorrow, and
it's a lead up, Phil, and I don't like it.
it's
More
not either.
importantly,
It has
I'm a
nothing to
Trekkie,
do.
and
Has
this is my
nothing
show.
to do with the Cinco de Mayo celebration.
All right, back to Bigfoot, Phil.
Which was a celebration, of course, of the battle at Guadalupe, where the Mexicans rampart the French out of the city.
Sure. Bigfoot.
And yeah, okay.
All right,
Sorry.
cool.
All right.
So that's the Extreme Expedition, May 26, 2019. xnorthwest.com. Moving on, our next story comes from Newsweek. It is about the Yeti, or the Yeti.
The
Yeti, yes.
Don't forget the Yeti.
That's good. Is someone writing for you, or you just make that one off your head?
I have a list here of things.
Richard, I want you to know I'm going to concede something.
What?
I recently listened to Eddie Izzard
on
the Joe Rogan podcast, and I will concede that you guys you guys are the inception of the language.
Really? Eddie Izzard.
Before us. It took Eddie Izzard to turn me around.
Eddie Izzard's what turned you around?
Yep.
All right. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Well, anyway, Newsweek.
May the
Yeti.
4th be with Eddie.
Please stop, Phil. I'm not a Star Wars fan. I'm a Trekkie. You've heard the tale of the
Chris.
gargantuan.
What?
Can we reschedule Richard? Can we get him back on the 40 slip for round 2?
Oh yeah.
Well, you want to
Did
go
he
head
just
to
say
head
he's
on
a Trekkie?
Star Wars
he's a
versus Star
Trekkie.
Trek?
Yeah.
Any day
We can definitely
Any
do that. I can play both sides of that fence.
Fun time.
So what's going on with the Yeti?
Right, the Yeti. You've heard the tale of the gargantuan creature that lives among the snow-capped mountains of the Himalayas, covered in thick white fur, a beastly snowman of sorts, whose story has been whispered in ancient folklore dating back more than 350 years. His name is the Yeti. Yeah, I really need some.
And on Sunday.
There is a monster truck called the Yeti.
Deep in the Himalaya mountains.
Yeti's existence has long been considered nothing more than a myth to many people, but the mysterious snowman recently received some serious support from the Indian Army. The additional Directorate General of Public Information shared the news of the Indian Army sightings of Yeti footprints on Monday.
Yeah, I saw the photos.
Monday, Monday, Monday.
Not a fan of the photos, Phil.
Oh no, I am a fan of the photos.
For the first
Huge
time.
fan.
Ooh.
Huge fan of the photos.
Huge fan of the
Huge.
photos.
Yeah, they show their tracks going one way and then cutting 90 degrees across their tracks is the alleged Yeti tracks, and they're measured 36 inches.
The abominable snowman.
Yeah,
No, that's a different one.
oh, that's a different one.
It's like the difference
I
between
thought the
Bigfoot
Yeti and the
skunk ape.
abominable snowman were the same thing.
Oh, I did as well, but apparently not. Apparently, the west part of Nepal is the abominable snowman, and the east is the Yeti. It's like the difference between Bigfoot and the skunk ape,
Otherwise known as a polar bear
as well as
on
known.
2 legs.
Over here, we're too good for you, snowmen.
We're Yetis. And the only other place that similar footprints were ever discovered in Nepal was at the Makula Baran National Park, whereas the recent sightings were spotted in a mountainous region between Nepal and Tibet. For the first time, an expedition team has sighted mysterious footprints of a mythical beast measuring 36 inches close to Makulu base camp on
And based on
9th
the
of
picture
April.
you got up there, Richard, I buy the 36 inches.
He's got big feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, big ones.
The footprint sighting occurred on April 9th, whereas the 18-person unit of the Indian Army was on its routine expedition in Mount Makula, which takes place between March and May. The group was on a mission to reach the summit of all challenging peaks above 27,000 feet, according to CNN. For generations, the story of the Yeti, a half-man, half-ape snow creature bigger than any human, has been passed down in Nepal. Folklore of a similar creature exists in the West, although he's referred to as the abominable snowman.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, so that's a story. Big footprints, Indian Army. Gentlemen.
And then at the North Pole is referred to as bumbles.
That's true.
Yeah,
Because-
no, I thought it was a very interesting story. Don't know how many of those soldiers came forth, but man, I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. It is what it is. More tracks in snow. Could be a snowshoe hare hopping. Who knows?
No.
No, yeah,
No,
snowshoe hare
no.
hippity hopping down the
No.
bunny trail.
No.
No,
It's a creature with a 36 long foot trudging through the snow. I mean,
those are some damn big tracks, though. Really.
yeah, that caused some problems with me.
Yeah, too big.
Too big.
The problem with the tracks is such they're old.
And
If
they
I look
melted.
at those tracks, I think that the first thing I see is that they're old. They've sat there for a while.
You had
they've
melt
melted.
off and refreezing. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why they're as big as they are. That's my guess.
Well, you could very well be right, Christopher.
No matter what it is, whether it was something completely different than what they're trying to relay it as, or whether it's what it was, or a human being, or whatever. I don't know. But
Thought was interesting was a space between the tracks.
right, there is a very large
Gap, yeah, between them. And it's not just one or two; it's an entire trackway.
Yes. Yeah, and it's very evident by looking at it.
So
It's interesting to say the least. I mean, I'm not going to come right out and be like, I know exactly what this is. Boom. You know, drop
It was a
mic.
seal. It was a seal.
You think that far inland, Phil?
The Himalayan seal. You never heard of those guys?
Yeah, one of those mountain seals.
Yeah. And
You
their
know.
flippers, it just so happens their flippers are 30.
Listen, I'm from Maine, and I heard of that damn Andre the seal. But I don't know if I buy Himalayan seals.
No.
Interesting.
The
Himalayan
trackway,
seals.
in and of everything, the trackway is interesting. You know,
What I thought was interesting was the the Indian Army Mountaineers photographs, like Phil said, you can see their tracks perfectly intersecting with the mystery giant tracks, but you don't see any of their tracks following
Right.
the larger tracks to
It's just one
find
set
a
of tracks.
source.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you can see the gate in their tracks, how shallow of a gate it is compared to the
compared
others.
compared to the other, yes.
So I'm like, wow, that's the only thing I can say. What the hell is this? It's the only thing I can come away with. But yeah, as far as the melting and then reforming, or as ice and tracks can become larger, I buy that. 36 inches for one.
That's very large
Yeah, very
for
large.
anything.
So if it melted off and then reformed, maybe twice the original, 3 times the original. So yeah, I mean, it's still big. I mean, you'd have to guess, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And we don't have any other evidence. There's nothing, no photographic evidence, no video evidence of what went through there. It's just that trackway.
Don't say just those trackways, because that's physical evidence.
Well, I mean, but it's old, degraded evidence.
Yeah.
You know what
Okay.
I mean?
All right.
So to me, it's just,
Okay.
it is what it is. And do I find it something that should be looked at? Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
do I think that we're going to get to the bottom of it?
No.
Not really.
No.
So,
But it's pretty super cool.
yeah, that's the thing. It is one of those very super cool things.
People ought to go look at this thing. It really is very
Phil,
interesting.
why aren't you buying plane tickets right now? Go to Nepal. You go to
Well,
Mexico all the
I
time.
could take
Go to Nepal.
I could take the Pacific Clipper.
You could be like like the ancient alien guys, only for Bigfoot breakdowns.
There you go. Yeah,
You're going all over the world.
He's not
Alright.
saying
Only you're ruining the hopes of everyone.
he's not saying it's Bigfoot. Actually, that's exactly what he's
That's
saying.
exactly what he's saying. Bigfoot breakdown people believe. The answer is no.
That could be your tagline. It writes itself.
Believe in Bigfoot? We can cure that.
Phil, the funny thing I've always found out about you, though, is that you do these videos, and yet you are very much like me. You're a skeptic that wants to believe. Like you're a very skeptical person, but yet you have a deep passion for wanting to know and understand. Because like I've said many times before, if just a fraction of these things are real,
They're real.
then that in and of itself is completely fascinating.
Well, to clarify, just for everybody, yes, I do believe that there is a bipedal, primate walking around in North America. I really do believe that. I also believe in hoaxers.
Yes.
In there lies a conundrum.
Yes. There are many of those. So
People who watch my videos, a lot of times unless they really know me, they've been watching for a long time, they just think, oh, you're just nothing but a debunker. And and that's it for them. I mean, I'm leaving. All you're doing is debunking.
yeah.
Okay, whatever. Have a nice
They probably
day.
don't like your impression of them either.
No.
That doesn't help. But like I said,
And thank you for asking.
these Yeti footprints, this trackway, I mean, it should bear some some scrutiny.
Definitely should do a breakdown of it.
I looked at several of the several photos that they had, and many times, and enlarged them, and I mean, it really did have my curiosity up.
Where's your head at with it, Matt?
Firm believer in the Yeti. Not a firm believer in those tracks.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
I think it was most likely some sort of animal.
Snowshoe hare.
No, I think it might have been a little bit bigger than a snowshoe
Kangaroo?
hare, but it might have been a snowshoe hare.
Himalayan kangaroo.
It's just the size. Even with snow melt, it's just the size that's got me. Yeah, I mean, there's some other things, boring logistics of tracks and momentum effects on snow, like slinging snow forward and
Right. Like
you
like
basically
dragging.
got
If the snow is too deep, yeah, you're going to have a drag out effect.
right.
Mhm.
And even if it was stepping high, if it were a bipedal creature of some kind, snow sticks and adheres to the hair and the skin that drops between the steps. And I didn't see any evidence of any of that. But they are interesting tracks. I mean, I could be completely wrong. I wish there was more definition in them.
Yeah.
But
And that's
due
the
to-
thing, is that they're
Yeah.
too big. And when I see tracks like that are too big, I'm like, they've been there for too long. We can't tell we can't really tell anything.
Right.
And you say when you said, usually there's like telltale signs like the snow falling off. Well, if they've been there for too long, then a lot of that snow is melted off. That top snow.
Yeah.
So
it
you're
could be.
not gonna see a lot of that stuff. And then if they've had fresh snowfall over the tracks, which sometimes happens, that would cover up a lot of that stuff. Like if they had a good dusting, like maybe a good hard inch of snow, it could it could easily like obliterate all that stuff, but yet still leave those impressions.
I think it was a small tornado touching down every 4 feet.
Just skipping along.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can see that.
Just having
Maybe
a
somebody
toilet
figured
with
out how to skip stones across snow.
maybe it was a log tumbling down the hill end over end.
That could be too.
Another possibility. Or one of the mountaineers in snowshoes that had to run off and use the bathroom real quick, so they thought they
With a
had poked fun at
with a
him and called him a
4 foot
Yeti.
They
stride.
bounded.
Yeah.
He
Hey,
really.
if you
had to
gotta go, you gotta go.
Hey, maybe that guy. Who was that guy that shot his girlfriend? Was the Olympic runner
Oh,
there
no.
with the
Spit it out, Chris.
he had
the guy with
amputated
the-
legs. The things on his legs. The bouncy things.
Oh,
What are those called?
Tigger.
Oh,
Tigger.
that's scarier.
You- Tiggers love to bounce, Chris.
Yes, they do. But anyway, like it's somebody with those on their legs. Somebody on a pogo stick, Phil.
Yeah.
Right. So let's just wrap this one up.
Okay.
Why not?
Moving
think
on.
Beat that
Richard,
sale.
come on. You got to admit this is an interesting one.
Well, I've got 3 stories about the Yeti this week
Oh
because
God, here we go. Let's do this.
those footprints, it's been pretty much Yeti. So.
Rah rah rah. Let's go.
All right. Okay, so moving on to Times Now News. The abominable snowman is believed to be an ape-like creature taller than an average primate and human being. While the creature's existence has never been proven by experts and scientists, theories about them inhabiting the Himalayas, Siberia, Central and East Asia have always managed to pique the interest of people. This brings us on to the most obvious question: is it a real animal? In pop culture, it's been mentioned in Scooby-Doo, Doctor Who, and even Tintin comic books. There are also several movies based on the mythical creature. But is there any truth to the claims about the sightings of this ape-like mythical creature beyond tales and imagination? According to Sherpa folklore, the creature is an important part of their history and legends. The annihilation of the snowman, one of the origin stories, states Sherpas seeking revenge on a group of snowmen. In another story, a local girl loses her health after getting raped by one. Another folklore story suggests the snowman grows taller as the sun rises. Shiva Dahaki a snowman expert, says that these stories provide motivation or morality lessons to people. Perhaps folk tales of the abominable snowman were used as warnings or lightly for morality, so that kids wouldn't wander far away and they would always be close and safe within their community. Dakhal was quoted by the BBC. Some say the snowman is just a fear that's been built inside the head of mountainous people to make them stronger and more fearless in the harsh weather, he added. In 1921, explorer and politician Charles Howard Bury spotted large footprints during his expedition. He was told by locals that it belonged to Metokangmi. That's how the legend began, and stories of sightings were regularly translated by Western visitors to Nepal. A curiosity among Westerners peaked in the 1950s, and even a Hollywood superstar, James Stewart, got on the conspiracy bandwagon by storing a Yeti finger in his luggage. Since then, there have been only footprints in the snow, grainy photographs, and DIY-style films about the snowman. Gentlemen, did you read the story?
Wow, you guys are
Yeah.
I did.
I did as well. You know, the thing is that the snowman wanted to hide. I mean, he wanted to keep his existence secret, and he would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for those meddling kids.
I was waiting for one
Frosty?
of you. I was waiting for one of you. As soon as Scooby-Doo was mentioned, I was like, one of them's going to say it. Just resign yourself to it, Rick.
Well, I mean, it's the same old story. You know, the media does a story, and instead of leading off with one of the many excellent books that have been written on the subject from a serious perspective, they lead off with Scooby-Doo. I mean, they're already setting the reader up to say, hey, this is a joke that's not real. I don't like that.
Yeah,
I also don't like the fact that they're saying that.
They address it all the time as being, you know, a myth of bliss and a myth of that, and
Right.
and how
Legend
this myth
says.
came, you know, how this myth came to be
In the 1950s with an American. No, that's not where it came from. It's been around. I mean, it predates our history. So,
predates the 20th century.
yeah. So, I don't know.
What's that, Scoob?
Yeah, I mean, hey, I think that in a lot of ways, this entire genre of Bigfoot, whatever you want to call it, this community, this research society, whatever, it's looked on and ridiculed. I've said that for a long time, and in a lot of cases, rightfully so. And I think you'd agree with me, Matt.
Yeah.
When I say that, and
Yeah.
I understand why it frustrates you. However, you know,
I disagree.
What do you disagree with? What?
Well, I mean, I disagree to a certain degree. I think that more and more of our society, because of shows like, you know, Finding Bigfoot and so forth, that more and more people have come to the realization that there could be something out there, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you really have to be a bit of a jerk to automatically say, you believe in Bigfoot or you go out Bigfoot hunting or whatever, you know, that type of crap. So I don't know. I think that
This is
I think
Yeti
they're-
hunting. This is way more extreme.
Oh
So-
yeah, Yeti hunting. Well, the problem with Yeti is that there just aren't
It's
enough
cold.
not enough of us over there doing the research on it,
It's cold, Phil.
and it's cold.
It's cold
is
on
very
them.
cold.
It's really difficult. I mean,
Yeah.
you
That's-
need to
that's
be
the
like
thing.
an expert mountain climber to research it. You know,
Well,
that rules out the Bigfoot crowd.
Well, not necessarily like with mountain climbing, but you have to have a good amount of endurance and stamina to be able to do those types of things for any prolonged amount of time.
Well, the populace that live in the area, the Sherpas and all these people that live in these towns, they're really among them. They accept it as a given. But there just simply isn't enough Westerners who live in that town validate or to research or what have you. So it's like your apples and oranges here. The difference between the Bigfoot and the Yeti is apples and oranges because of the way it's reported, the way it's seen, and in this case, the way it's not reported. We only have not even a handful of incidents.
Yeah.
The latest being the
these
Army.
these footprints.
Most of the stories of the Yeti that get reported over there are like small articles that are like a woman was attacked by a Yeti last week.
And
They don't treat it
seem
as
to
a
be
joke.
way more aggressive too.
Yeah. Yeah.
well, they're hungry.
I guess the cold will do that to you, Phil.
Yeah, there's nothing growing, there's nothing living. They're hungry.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering what there is as far as supporting a family unit. What the hell do they eat?
Yeah, over there.
Snow
I don't know.
cones.
Snowshoe hares.
Snowshoe hares, yeah, and of course the mountain seals.
Mountain seals, yeah. Himalayan kangaroos. I mean, there's lots for them to nibble on.
That's true.
That's
Well, they
right.
probably travel between green
Who knew
areas.
they had marsupials in the Himalayas. Tell me that
Indeed.
wouldn't be more fascinating than them finding Bigfoot up there.
So
Wait
they
a
wrote
minute,
the
a
article.
kangaroo?
They wrote the article for some hits. Made it sound all, really exorbitant and exciting, and they got their read, and then they're gonna put it to bed. And what's next?
Well, the Indian Army posted those photos of the tracks,
And then
and it got a lot of views. And the media has been all over Yeti and Bigfoot stories this week, trying to cash in
cash in.
on
They
people's
get their
interest.
On
Right.
the Yeti phenomena.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready for Yeti?
I am.
Yeti.
I've got my mug.
Moving on to News Nation. Is the Yeti real or imagined? For decades, adventurers, scientists, and explorers have tried
Matt
to solve
doesn't like that, Richard.
this Himalayan puzzle. The Bigfoot mystery got fresh fuel when new photos posted by the Indian Army from its official Twitter handle on April 29th. While claims and counterclaims have been part of the Yeti lore, the Army's claim forced the world to sit back and take notice. So far, several people and the international media have not seen the claim in a positive light. Scientists have been trying to solve this issue with just a picture or two serving as part of the Himalayan jigsaw puzzle. Amid this fog, let's try and see the photos from the scientific perspective. There have been several claims of Yeti sightings, but only two credible studies looked into the proofs collected from the region. One was done in 2014 and the other in 2017. In the first ever systematic genetic survey, the 2014 paper in Proceedings of the Royal Society B studied mitochondrial RNA sequencing to see if the Yeti claims were right. Two Himalayan samples, one from Ladakh and the other from Bhutan, had their closest genetic affinity with the Paleolithic polar bear, Ursus maritimus. Otherwise, the hairs were from a range of known extant mammals. In simpler words, the samples were that of bear and not of Yeti, as claimed. Another study in 2017, published by Proceedings of the Royal Society B, had a smiling finding. Researchers analyzed 24 mitochondrial DNA samples of hair, tissue, bone, and the feces of Himalayan brown bears and purported Yeti collected from the Tibetan Plateau Himalayan region. Phylogenetic analysis of mitochondrial DNA sequences determined clan affinities of the purported Yeti samples in this study, strongly supporting the biological basis of the Yeti legend to be local extant bears, the 2017 study said. So, I think that's a Sykes project, the first one, isn't it? Other one.
Sounds like they
believe
need
so.
more
I believe so,
samples.
yes.
That was the one where they came back and they said it's a polar bear
Polar bear.
bear
What's
mixture.
Sykes? Sykes was the one who determined that, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Good-o. Good-o.
Get
move
oh.
We'll move on from Yeti to our final story of the night. And on a lighter note, it's time to take another look at our favorite researcher here on Squatchable Podcast, Tim Fasano, who uploaded a 3-minute long video that was picked up by Bigfoot Evidence. It is a follow-up on the tree shaker video of a possible Bigfoot tree peaking. Tim Fasano hypothesizes that younger Bigfoot are guarding the site of a Bigfoot group. Tim says that in a month or so that the area he is researching in will be underwater. He points out the bird song of the forest and he sees a crane. And that is pretty much the entirety of his video. Gents, did you watch it?
I did.
It was boots on the ground, and
It's
that
on
was
the ground.
and it was a cool crane. I never heard a crane with that kind of a squawk or whatever before. Really, very tropical looking.
It was a squawk.
Definite squawk from a crane.
The Floridian squawking crane.
The squawk. He captured a very rare bird, I would say. But yeah, he showed he recapped the shaker, and you know,
Phil, if you will, Tim himself is a very rare bird.
well, I'm not going to go there.
Just saying.
You know, people have accused Tim Fasano of hoaxing that shaker, tree shaker video,
People
Where-
being you.
and you know, saying, well, he just kind of a guy go around behind it and shaking it, and he was sitting there, and but to be in all honesty, as if you ask him, no, it was not a hoax. Now you can tell you flat out, it was not a hoax. It was a real deal.
The real deal.
Really? Just ask him; he'll tell you.
Yeah. Just
Well,
like
not
any
like
other
he's-
Slake video.
Not like he's going to lie or anything.
Yeah,
not
I
gonna-
mean, none of us would accuse Tim Fasano of being a liar.
No, not with those huge guns.
His word is law in the Bigfoot community. Let me tell you, there is no one we respect more on this podcast than Tim Fasano in the Bigfoot researching arena. Let me tell you.
Boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground. Day in, day out, that man is out there in the Floridian swamp getting evidence for us. We salute
He's
you,
doing
Tim
he's
Fasano.
doing the job.
He's doing a job. You know,
And in the Everglades, you know, there's snakes out there.
there are snakes, there's alligators, there's crocodiles, there's a
Black tart monsters,
Humid.
black
Mus-
tart monsters, and all kinds of stuff out there.
Extremely humid.
He's not the
Very
hero
humid.
that we want or deserve or need or asked for. He's just, our guy,
He's just Tim Fasano.
Fasano. And we love him.
Taxi driver.
All American.
You know,
Hero?
just the fact that he's a taxi driver in Florida, man, that takes guts.
Well, you know, the movie Taxi Driver was based on Tim Fasano's life.
I've
Robert
only
De Niro?
heard
It was.
I only heard
It
the
was.
rumors.
You talking to me?
I believe that. I'm not going to lie.
Mm-hmm. Well, just ask him. I'm sure he'll tell you.
I'd buy that for $1.
All right.
But
Well, that wraps us up this week on the Squatchable podcast. Matt, you're still looking for paranormal stories and Bigfoot signs?
I am. If anybody's encountered something in the realm of the unexplained, send it to me. BigfootCrossroads@gmail.com.
Chris, I assume you'll be doing, I don't know, something tomorrow night on the Void Intellect. You got a topic?
I got a couple ideas I'm bouncing around. I think Star Wars versus Star Trek needs to go down.
I'm up for that. If you'll have me again.
Absolutely for that.
All right then.
Yeah. Let's
And,
do it. But yeah, no, I don't have anything solid right now. I thought of a couple ideas yesterday, so I'll throw something together.
Alrighty then. And Phil, you got any videos this week?
Well, I'm thinking about making another video, another episode of This Old Tiki Bar.
This
Good,
old tiki bar.
Mm-hmm.
And
Matt, what did I say?
Is this part of the This Old Hat compilation?
No, you know this old house. You know the old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt, what did I tell you? He's
Phil
two
Vila.
steps. He's 2 steps away from wearing a flannel shirt and looking for a guy named Tim.
He needs more power.
Yep.
Your Mothman video was really good.
I've got the beard. Yes, but
Yeah.
it's not Bigfoot. We can't mention the Mothman video because this is strictly a Bigfoot show.
Yeah, we're at the end of the show now. We're shamelessly plugging.
Oh, okay. More shameless plugs.
All right, well, that just wraps us up for this week. We will be back next week, despite the hopes of many, where we will have more Bigfoot news. If you're listening on my channel, the links are in the description. If you're listening on Phil's channel, there's a link to my channel in his description. So it's good night from me, and it's good night from them. Good night.
Good night.